my name is Paul Henry, Security and Forensic Analyst for Lumension. Welcome to our Patch Tuesday update for May 2013. Well, we have 10 bulletins this Patch Tuesday, but don't get excited. Microsoft released 10 bulletins today. While the number may seem high at first glance, it really isn't bad news for IT, as only 2 of the 10 bulletins released are critical, and both impact Microsoft Windows and IE. MS13-037 should be your top priority this month to handle the IE 0 day that's been actively exploited on the web. Last week, Microsoft did take the responsible approach and issued a hotfix. This patch handles the issue via WSUS. Now, with 10 bulletins 8 important this month, we've seen 45 to date in 2013, or 10 more bulletins than last year at this time. This tells me Microsoft is continuing to dig deeper into their code base to uncover lower-level vulnerabilities. This is good news, and I believe the trend toward higher numbers of important bulletins will continue, given Microsoft's apparent commitment to proactively discovering and patching security issues in their code base. MS13-038 is a critical remote code execution vulnerability in IE, but it only affects IE8 and IE9. We always recommend upgrading to the latest version of any software, as that's typically the most secure. If your system is compatible with IE10 and you're not running it already, it's time to upgrade. As always, I recommend patching important bulletins based on what programs you're actually using. Looking through the bulletins, MS13-040 is probably the most interesting, affecting all versions of Windows, from XP through Windows RT and Windows 8. This is a spoofing issue which we don't see very often in Microsoft patches. MS13-039 is a denial of service vulnerability affecting only the newest versions of Windows products. It's never a good thing to see the current code base impacted, particularly when it's the only product impacted. Denial of service vulnerabilities are inconvenient but likely not damaging to systems in the long term, which is likely why this is only rated as important. MS13-041 through MS13-043 are remote code execution vulnerabilities impacting various Microsoft Office products. MS13-043 is a parsing issue with Microsoft Word. As it affects both Microsoft Word and Microsoft Word Viewer, it is pretty important to get that rolled out. MS13-041 affects Microsoft Link, which is not a program we very often see in the affected software list. If you're running Link, be sure to include this patch. MS13-044 and MS13-045 are information disclosure issues. These are always a little concerning since they might allow an attacker insight into sensitive company information or documents. However, if they're ranked important, that generally means there's an element of the vulnerability that makes it difficult to achieve success in operating the exploit. A physical access requirement or additional steps are typically required when they're marking the vulnerability as important. MS13-046 is an elevation of privilege issue affecting all versions of Windows. Elevation of privilege vulnerabilities are always ranked important. This one is no different. It's likely a kernel mode driver issue that might allow for a low rights user to be elevated to moderate or admin level. Now, outside of Microsoft this Patch Tuesday period, we are again, unfortunately, seeing Adobe becoming more of a threat vector. You may recall that issues with Adobe products just a few years ago made it the primary threat vector for Internet bad guys, and they held that title for a couple of years, only eventually to lose their crown to the issues that plague Oracle Java today. The Adobe PDF tracking issue and the zero-day issue in Adobe's Cold Fusion product that has been under active attack were recently patched in the regular monthly patch release from Adobe. This has been our Patch Tuesday update for May 2013. Thank you for listening.